Hi, welcome to our mini lecture on pre-calculus. Today's topic is very short, using a calculator to approximate sine, cosine and tangent values, and then there is another section for secant, cosecant and cotangent. I'm combining both of them here because it's a very short topic. So the main thing to recognize here is an issue. Let me bring it up. Is that we had many different styles of measuring angles. So what was the units we used to use? So we have that one circle is equal to 2 pi radians, and that is same as 360 degrees. So that's shown by little circle, and radians don't have a symbol right next to it. And then we said there is also another one called grad. Most calculators have this thing. Okay, we mentioned that these two are natural, meaning if somebody came to visit us from another galaxy, he would understand these things. And these are man-made. Degrees has something to do with some ancient civilizations liking that base 60, or with the fact that there are about 360 days in a year, and 400 grads comes from folks who like the metric system, so they said let's have 100 grads per right angle. Okay, well, how does that relate to us here? Our questions here are not about converting from one style to another, rather whatever calculator you use either has a button on which there is a sign written DRG for obvious uses. D is for degrees, and of course R is for radians, and G is for grad. So before you do any calculation, you have to decide which unit you want to do your calculation in, and act accordingly. Then there is of course some calculators that have a mode that you go on that mode and decide what you are doing. So that's the main lesson here. Other than that, everything is pretty trivial. So what is it that you are doing here is what's cosine of 46 degrees. So the main issue is that this is in degrees. So when you're using the calculator, let me just go to the calculator page. So this is for the second, but either way, so if I have let me clear this one. So suppose I had cosine of what was the say let me see what it was. It was 46 degrees. So 46 degrees, you see that this is showing radians, so I have to go choose degrees here, and then I'll be set. There is no option for grad on this one. They decided to eliminate that altogether. So cosine of, and then of course now I have 46, and that's already in degrees, and then you calculate it, whatever it is, and round it to how many decimal places you are required to do. So if a problem comes up with radians, then you choose radians first. So let's go erase this one, and you calculate. So suppose I had cosine of excuse me, you have to click cosine of say 1 radian. So what is that? Whatever it comes out here to be, that's the answer for that problem. In radians cases, it's quite common that you come across some factor of pi. For example, cosine of say pi over 2, whatever. So cosine of pi over 2, we have to know that from memory, but just in case, what is that supposed to be? It's supposed to be 0. Is that right? Let's see. So we got the correct answer. So again, main issue is that you're choosing between degrees and radians. That's the toggle switch here, and there's a pi in case you need it. Your trig functions, the 3 basic trig functions, sine, cosine and tangent, are here, and that's how you do these exercises. So Other than that, we are all good to go. So sine of 61 degrees and tangent of 12 degrees, no problem any of those. Okay, the next set is, what if we have secant and cotangent and cosecant? What do we do there? I have never seen a calculator, a basic calculator, that has these functions. They're kind of secondary and not given a space on a calculator, so because a calculator is a small item and you don't want to use your real estate for things that can be achieved other ways. So anyway, there's a design decision. How do we get across secant of 270? You have to remember secant of anything is just 1 over cosine of that thing. Same way for all these three functions. Cotangent of anything is 1 over tangent of that angle, and cosecant of something is 1 over sine of that angle. And whatever unit you had, you still use the same units. Other than that, the exercises are exactly the same as before. Let's just quickly go and check this thing over. So if we have here secant of 250, and so I have I remember we said 1, well, first let's change to degrees first. So 1 divided by, and then you remember we said secant is reciprocal of cosine, so I say cosine of, and then say 270 degrees. Well, you remember what was cosine of 270 degrees? That was of course 0, so 1 divided by 0. Let's see if we get a flag. Okay, yeah, we got a flag because you are dividing by 0. 1 divided by 0 is undefined, and well, it's undefined. So here you choose undefined for that, or later on you're going to try to label it as plus or minus infinity and so on. Okay, let's practice the other one as well, cotangent. So let's go clear this one, and that's 5 pi third. You know, you see that there is no little circle there, so that means it's radians, so put radians, and cotangent is 1 divided by tangent. Tangent, and then I have 5 pi divided by 3. Okay, it's 5 pi divided by 3, and here's a cotangent of that. Again, this is a quantity you should know from memory, but here is giving you it's asking you to the nearest hundredth. So so it's going to be minus 5/8 in this case. Cosecant. What was cosecant? The last example, cosecant of this one is in degrees, so let's set to degrees, and then let's erase what we got. And cosecant is 1 divided by sine. So sine, I have minus 130 degrees, and then that's about, so 1 over sine is minus 1.31 in this case, and then you get your answer. So all there is to it. This section was short. Let's remember again, we have 4 types of units. Divided, 2 of them are natural, and the 2 of them are kind of man-made, you can call them. So circles and radians, everybody understands these, meaning if E.T. came to visit you, he will understand. Well, a circle everybody understands, and a radian, we said it's size of angle. You take this radius and lay it on the side of the circle, connect it to the origin, and whatever angle you get here, this is 1 radian. The entire circle is almost 6 of these things. That is, by the time you go and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and change, this becomes 2 pi, approximately 6.28 radians makes the whole circle. So once you go to calculus, you are going to be using radians a lot more than degrees, because it makes more sense and formulas are cleaner if radians is used. Okay, so until our next visit, good luck and God bless.